Hello everyone, welcome back to mathematics class. Today we are going to move to the next chapter. It's chapter 5. On your book, it's page 101. It's about fractions and standard form. I'm sure that you have learned about this since you were in elementary school and then in the checkpoint books, checkpoint 7, 8, and 9. So we just review these topics. Okay, there are some keywords here. You need to understand the definition about. I have given to you the activities about tag and words, the fractions vocabularies. So you have to know each of the vocabularies definition. Now we are going to look at the learning objective. Okay, in this meeting, we are going to learn about finding equivalent fractions and then simplifying fractions and adding, subtracting, multiplying, and dividing fractions and mixed numbers. Okay, now let's look at the first subchapter about equivalent fraction. A fraction is part of a whole. Common fractions, also called as a vulgar fraction, are written in the form A over B. A over B. A is a numerator, the number on top. B is the denominator, the number below or on the bottom. And the fraction bar is a horizontal line, separated the numerator and denominator. And then if you have a fraction and you multiply or divide both the numerator and denominator by the same number, so you will have a new fraction which is called as equivalent fraction. For example, 2 out of 3. If you multiply by the same number here, the same number is 4. So we have 8 out of 12. 8 out of 12 and 2 out of 3 are equivalent fractions. And then if we divide, for example, we have another fraction here, 25 out of 35. We divide by the same number. Here is the same number is 5. So we divide 25 by 5, 35 by 5. We have 5 out of 7. So 25 out of 35 is equal to 5 out of 7. Okay. Now, because 25 out of 35 has been divided into the smallest term, then the smallest term is 5 out of 7, and 5 out of 7 cannot be divided by another number except 1. So this one is called the simplest form, or sometimes called the lowest term. So simplifying a fraction means expressing it using the lowest possible term. This one is the lowest possible term. Both of the numbers are prime numbers, so we cannot divide it by another number anymore. Okay, you may look at the work example by yourself. Let's see the next subchapter about the operations on fraction. The first operation here is multiplying fraction. Why multiply? Because multiplying fraction is the easiest operation in the fraction. When multiplying two or more fractions together, you can simply multiply the numerators and then multiply the denominators. You just multiply the top numbers, then the bottom numbers. 3 times 2 is 6, 4 times 7 is 28, so 6 out of 28. If you think that the fraction is not in its simplest form, so you have to make it into its simplest form. So 6 and 28 are even numbers, so we can divide it both by 2. So we have 3 out of 14. 3 is a prime number, so we cannot multiply by any number as well. Now, sometimes you may do the cancellation. 2 and 4 we can cancel or divide by 2, so cancel it first, then multiply. So it's the example to cancel it. Okay. How if you multiply by a whole number fraction by a whole number? So the whole number should be represented into the fraction by denominator 1. So 5 out of 7 times 3 out of 1. 3 means 3 out of 1. So every whole number has denominator 1. Then you multiply 5 times 3 and then 7 times 1. Then we have 15 out of 7. Okay, both of them cannot be simplified into its simplest form anymore. Okay. Now, if you get a mixed number, you may change into if you have improper fraction, you can make it into a mixed number. So 15 out of 7 is 2, 1 out of 7. Okay. Now, about adding and subtracting fraction. You can only add or subtract fractions that are the same type. What is the same type? They must have the same denominator. So the denominator must be equal, or we can call it as a common denominator. We have to equalize the denominator first, or make it into a common denominator by finding the LCM of both denominators. 2 and 4, the LCM or KPK in bahasa is 4. So we make the denominator into 4. 4 divided by 2 is 2 times 1 is 2. So we have 2 out of 4 plus 1 out of 4. And then add the numerator only because the denominator are already the same. So we put over 4. 2 plus 1 is 3. Okay. Now how about 4 and 16? 6. Sorry. 4 and 6 has the same denominator or common denominator is 12. Then 12 divided by 4 is 3 times 3, 9. 12 divided by 6, 2 times 5, 10. So you add the numerators only. So we have 19 out of 12. If you want to make into a mixed number, so you get 7 out of 12. Okay, next. About dividing fractions. Okay, dividing fraction is the inverse of the multiplication operation. So before describing how to divide two fractions, you have to know about reciprocal fraction. Reciprocal means you change the fraction by swapping the numerator and denominator. So you swap 3 out of 5, the reciprocal is 4 out of 3. So you swap the denominator and the numerator place. Okay. Now, the denominator is the reciprocal of multiplication. So, you swipe only the last fraction. Okay. Now, for example, you have 3 out of 5 dividing by 1 out of 3. So, it means 3 out of 4. 3 out of 4 dividing by 1 out of 2. It means 3 out of 4 times the reciprocal of 1 out of 2. So, you change the form of the last fraction. So, we get 3 out of 4 times the reciprocal of 1 out of 2 is 2 out of 1. So, with the usual or multiplication you have 3 times 2 over 4 times 1. So you get 6 out of 4, or you can simplify or cancel it first. So you get 3 out of 2. Okay, that's all for today, I think. Oh yeah, we have a fraction with decimal first. Okay, now if you have a fraction with decimal, so you may simplify it first, by changing 0.1 into a fraction, or multiply both numbers by the decimal digit. For example, 0.1. Okay, the decimal digit in the 0.1 is 1, so you multiply by 10. Okay, multiply by 10, so you get 1 out of 30. So you have no decimal form anymore in the fraction. For example, 1.3 times 10, 2.4 times 10, so you get 13 out of 24. How about this? Now we have 2 decimal places here, so you multiply by 100. That's why 0.12 will become 12. Yeah. We have no decimal number anymore. Okay, so you get 3,600 divided by 12. Okay. Okay, now sometimes you will be given a word problem. So if you given a word problem, you have to understand what the terms you have to use, and what is the problems or questions want you to answer, and then you have to make it into mathematical problem, or make it into a word number problem. For example, 3 out of 4 of the people at the auction bought an item. If there were 120 people at the auction, how many bought something? 3 out of 4 of in mathematics means times the number of people. The number of people is 120. So 3 out of 4 times 120 equals to 90. So 90 people at the auction bought something. It's something like that. Thank you very much for your attention. I think it's enough for today. Don't forget to do all the assignment on the LMS. The next meeting we are going to learn about percentage. Thank you.